Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Behind Marketing Lines, where stories fuel growth. I'm your host, Zeeshan, and today my guest is Anna Vapnichna.
Thank you for your valuable time. It's a true honor for me to be here, and I hope our conversation today would create value for us and for people who would watch that.
No, actually, I'm looking forward to having this discussion with you. Some really exciting questions prepared, served fresh. So I'll start with the first pet question that I always ask all my guests. What if your life was a movie? What's the opening scene like, and what is it called?
This question caught me out of guard when I first heard it, and I heard some of your podcasts, so I thought it might come up.
Right.
And my answer is Reinventing Anna.
Reinventing Anna. Okay.
Yes.
That's an
Like
interesting
there is
one.
an Inventing Anna. It's about a girl who crashed the entire system. But I believe it's Reinventing Anna Value Creator Edition.
Interesting.
When the person who loves intercultural dialogue serves between countries, airports, lifestyle, and brings the change.
That is interesting. And how is the movie starting? So, what's the first scene like?
It's an airport.
Okay.
So you just see how the life passes through travel and through intercultural dialogue. But the metaphor is airport.
Interesting. And what if your life was a book? Which chapter are we at right now?
It's a recalibration as many times as possible for the better purpose.
I'm curious, what's your origin story? How did you get into marketing? Did you like always study for it, or did you happen to be in marketing by chance?
I actually studied for it, but by chance, because
Okay.
I won my studies
Right.
back then, and it was like marketing. I thought, like, marketing, I thrive in uncertainty, I live in uncertainty, I love uncertainty, so maybe it's fate. And indeed it was. However, to be fair, marketing is my degree.
Right.
My career started in finance,
Oh,
and then
interesting.
commerce, and then trade marketing, and only then I actually understood that marketing is my true passion. And then my entire life and career is through marketing: global marketing, regional marketing, operational marketing, social advocacy, all the levels. But for me, it's more marketing is the true general manager essence. It's the foundation. I believe that, excuse me, with all my respect to other professions, but for me, those CEOs whom I admire the most are those with a strong marketing background, because consumer is the obsession.
That is so true. And even if they did not have the marketing background, at least having a mindset of a marketer, right? That, okay, we need to build everything around the customer. We need to understand the customer first, of course, then to build the product around it or the service around it. And having a growth mindset, of course, as well. I think that is so true. Well said.
Exactly. And don't you think that, in fact, entrepreneurship spirit is the synonym to being marketer?
That is so true. And everybody is born a marketer, right? As a
Exactly.
marketer, you have to present yourself. And that is what we do when we are young, within the siblings themselves or within a group of friends. I did this thing differently. Or, how to gain the attention of your mom or your dad or your teacher. So we all market ourselves since, when we are children. So very rightly said. On LinkedIn, I see that you are an accomplished marketer, right? You've been to places, you've worked with some of the biggest brands. You are working with a very good big brand right now. Please feel free to mention your experience as well. But was there a plot twist so far, or was the journey very smooth?
I have 18 years of experience at the moment,
Right.
mostly in marketing. And the biggest chunk of my life I've spent still in L'Oreal, which is a beauty business,
Right.
where I worked with many beauty brands. And now I'm working with a company which is called Bacardi,
Okay.
and with the whiskey portfolio.
Right.
I also went through global marketing, concepts development, regional marketing, worked across the board, lived in 5 different countries, speak not fluently, but 6 languages. So I'm an intercultural leader, and I can say it proudly, but also with humility, because it's always the journey. At the same time, my career twist was the moment when I moved to Paris.
Right.
And this is where the shift happened in mindset. From a local mindset where you believe that you know it all, you've traveled across the board, you know how to talk to international people because you are already some important person on your market,
Right.
and you know what's possible, what's not. You come into the world where intercultural things burst,
Right.
intercultural dialogue is in place, and what you understand is what you believe is not possible is possible, and vice versa.
Interesting.
Everything has to be unlocked only with the right questions, not with the answers.
So
You
true.
first ask, you understand, and only then you can take the decision. It was not easy integration. It was the most valuable learning and lesson in my life still, and I'm extremely grateful.
I think you're at the right place right now, right? Because Dubai or UAE as a whole is a melting pot of cultures. And since you have worked across cultures and you consider yourself to be, and I believe you truly are, intercultural ambassador. As I said, you're at the right place, I believe, being in UAE. Which brings me to the next question. Is there anything that you're working right now excites you the most?
Yes, first, I truly believe that UAE and Dubai specifically is the place to be. After all the journeys I've been to, I understand that so far it's the only city in the world where you don't have dominant culture. And
That
it
is
means
true.
that indeed you discover so many things because it's a kind of parity and intercultural dialogue. If you move to any other country, this is the moment when you need to integrate into the culture. And here the idea is to understand as many cultures as possible, but not having, and let's say, not overseeing dominating role, which is fascinating. So for me as intercultural ambassador, I hope this is the true journey of pleasure. Let's call it like that.
Interesting.
What excites me now? I did a change of the industry, and this industry I'm working in now is based on experience marketing.
That is correct.
This is something absolutely new for me and something linked to discovery. Discovery is linked to the growth mindset, so this is what excites me a lot. Discovery of something new every day and making it drive experience of others.
Are you facing any challenges related to probably your current job or related to something in life? And if you can share how you are trying to overcome those. And why I ask this question is because a lot of the audience that we have are either aspiring marketers or young marketers. And they need to know that, okay, these accomplished marketers, if they're sitting here, do they have any challenges and how are they trying to overcome those challenges?
Yes, with whole transparency and honesty, I can tell you that your career uh, is the ups and downs. It's always ups and
True.
downs. People always speak about ups, but they don't want to speak about downs.
That's correct.
I'm speaking openly. In my life so far, I had one burnout because I was so excited by work when I just moved to Paris. I've been working more than 20 hours a day,
Wow.
and at some point you just lose focus, and your body says, maybe now it's the time to a bit slow down.
Agreed. Been there.
It's okay, you can do the step down, but then you know that fine, if you stop on time, it's much better, and then you would know yourself better, and then you would be also managing and leading teams better. For me, it was one good lesson. Another lesson, and this is what I observed also with my team, because normally as as a leader, you lead teams. And I also experience it myself. Confidence is not constant. Your confidence is always shaken. Sometimes you are in the moment when you lose your confidence, and it's the leadership journey to bring it back.
That is so true. And I love the line, confidence is not constant. That is so true.
And probably this is what I would tell to any new marketer, that confidence is not constant and it's okay. You will feel that you are not enough and it's okay. Many people will tell you it's not possible. Please listen, understand why, and find different people.
Interesting.
Because there are 1 billion people in the world, and if somebody says no, you will find definitely someone who will say yes.
Well, that's an amazing lesson. And all the aspiring marketers and young marketers listening, or even experienced marketers, I think this is the way to go. Agreed. If somebody is not convinced, you might find another person who will be convinced, and they will
Exactly.
believe in you. You just need to believe in yourself.
If you feel down, and it's also like we all feel that way sometimes, the only important thing is making an action to go out of the zone of discomfort. You will feel you're like probably out of comfort once, two, three, and then we all get used to. We are the most agile creatures in the world, so it's just the journey.
That is so true. Well, let's zoom into a day in your life. So, how does it start? How does it end? And how do you accomplish so much in between?
From time to time, I'm an early person. From time to time, I'm a late person.
Okay.
And that's because I hate routine.
Right.
Which means that over the course of the day, I ask myself 3 questions. First question is whether I discovered something new today, because my rule is, and it's the rule of the week, 20% should be new discovery, either new place, new book, people, etc., because
Oh,
it
nice.
makes your neuron works. So
Right.
whether I discovered something new, whether I did something which made me feel good,
Right.
and people around me. And third one, whether I did something which made my life and people around me better. If the
Very important
answer,
questions.
yes, if the answer is, and then the fourth one, which comes fourth always, what do I need to do?
Right.
Normally, there are some things which are trade-offs and you need to do. But if you balance them with discovery, with something pleasant for yourself, and something which makes your life better, even if it's not that maybe pleasant,
Right.
but needed and connected to routine, then this is where the balance comes.
Interesting.
And this is my day, like go into something new, and of course sports, of course meeting new people, networking like social butterfly, with going out of my zone of comfort every day, and just trying to enjoy the life, because time is so precious and valuable.
That is so true. What's one lesson that you learned the hard way in your life?
Actually, it's about confidence.
And confidence is not constant.
Confidence is not constant.
Right.
Reinstating confidence is the true leadership journey.
That
It's
is
not
so
just
true.
a journey, it's a leadership journey. It's a leadership move to ask for help. It's a leadership move to understand how to bring yourself and moreover someone up.
Right.
And it's a leadership move if somebody around you loses confidence in your team, to wait and give this person time.
That is so true. And what do you think is one skill or a mindset that will separate tomorrow's great marketers from the rest?
Cultural agility,
Okay,
consumer obsession,
fair enough.
creativity powered by AI, powered, not
Okay,
dominated
led
by
by.
AI, and not led by, just a
Right.
bit powered,
Okay,
but creativity at heart, and general manager mindset.
right. That
Like
is,
a bit of macro thinking and then putting it through strategy and the right thinking. It's constant learning.
yeah, that is really important. I think we need to outgrow ourselves, and the only way we can do is through lifelong learning.
It's an essence of marketeer. Normally, it's the essence of marketing, because this profession changes so much. then when we started with you, all the tools we've started with, and now it's like a different world. And in the scale of time, it's nothing.
That is so true. Yeah.
If you check finance, for example, it's stable. Supply, more or less, technology, essence is stable. Marketing,
Changed altogether. We are not a
exactly.
cost center anymore. We are a profit center. Now we
Yes,
can tell you, okay, we spent these many dollars
exactly.
and this is the impact we made and this is how many customers we brought in and this is how many units we sold.
Exactly. And moreover, like each day now, we're even at the stage of more fascinating change.
Yep. Every day you wake up and there is something new happening. Somewhere in the world that has impacted the way you work, the way you do business.
Exactly. So it's a fascinating time ahead for the new marketeers.
What's one underrated tool or framework that you rely on the most?
Recently, while my educational executive journey, read a book, Innovator DNA,
Okay.
and they describe 5 top innovator skills which actually help you drive any innovation.
Interesting.
Uh, but at the same time, for me, this framework is like a life framework for any discovery or understanding a bit yourself and making your life better. First skill is about observation,
Right. Very important.
association. What you observed, how can it be
Okay.
applied to other industry, lifestyle, etc.
Interesting.
Experimentation,
Okay.
questioning, networking.
Wow. And networking is at the helm of it. Yeah.
Not necessary because, for example, you network not only for networking, but for the sake of observation, for the
Right.
sake of association or experimentation. So it's all somehow interconnected.
You accomplish so much throughout your day, the things that you mentioned. What's one habit or ritual that keeps you sharp and lets you accomplish all that you want to accomplish during the day?
20% rule that I need to discover something new over a week.
Right.
Over a week, it means, like, of course, we remove in hours. It's like as if you have one day of discovery. So it can be either you do something what you have never done before over the weekend, or you do several things over the course of the week. And it can be whatever. At the same time, it means that your neurons are always a bit challenged, and in a good way, and it makes you grow and evolve. You think differently.
What if you were teaching a crash course to your younger self? What chapter are you teaching them right now?
Alternative value of time.
That's very important.
Macroeconomics course, if I remember well. And in fact, what you can do for the same time when you need to do something you like, you don't like. What is the
Time
alternative
value of
value of
money, I
time?
think. Yeah, I remember
Yes,
that. Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
My teacher would be proud, I remember.
exactly. You know, sometimes little lessons strike. It's like when people tell me, slow down and trust the process. Unfortunately, I know that it's a wise phrase, but till today, this is something where I want to run from this phrase, because for me, it's the alternative value of time, and time is so precious.
That is so true. Well, now I have a rapid fire round
Okay,
where I'll be asking you a few personal and a few professional questions.
let's try it.
SEO or paid marketing?
Paid,
Brand or performance marketing?
brand,
Creativity or data?
creativity,
Startup hustle or corporate structure?
startup hustle,
Books or podcasts?
podcasts,
Right. LinkedIn or Instagram?
LinkedIn.
AI or human intuition?
Difficult, human intuition,
Global campaigns versus local activations?
global campaigns,
TV ads or TikTok reels?
TikTok reels,
Interesting. Work from office or remote working?
remote working,
Risk taking or playing it safe?
risk taken, of course,
Customer first or product first?
customer, always
Right.
customer.
So 95% I get this answer for the last two, risk taking. All marketers, we are risk takers. So new marketers, brace yourselves. And customer first, of course. I mean, it
Of
has to
course.
be.
Of course.
A few personal questions. So tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Early mornings or late nights?
50-50. Now I'm in the stage of early mornings.
Mountains or beaches?
Beaches,
Right.
Dubai,
Reading or watching web series?
watching web series,
Solo traveling or group travels?
group travels.
Are you a minimalist or a collector?
I'm both.
Okay. Finally, do you prefer city life or countryside?
I love city life.
Interesting. Now, my favorite question, right? You must have done hundreds of campaigns in your life.
Mhm.
What if your career was a marketing campaign? What's the tagline?
Value, created, captured, delivered.
Wow. Value created, captured, and delivered. Interesting. What's one piece of advice that you ever received and it stayed with you?
It's also my philosophy, but it's what somebody once told me.
Right.
And I a bit repeated it today. Nothing is impossible is very subjective line.
Okay.
You know, like for someone it's impossible,
That
for
is true.
others it's possible. So nothing is impossible is a very subjective line, and the way it has to be framed is everything is possible, just find the right people.
Wow, I like it. And I think you connected it to one of the previous questions as
Yes,
well.
yes.
Find the right people to
Find
be
the right
with, find the
people.
right people to hang out with, and find the right people to work with. I think that is really, really important.
And in Dubai, on one of the cafes, my favorite breakfast one, there is phrase, when one door is closed, open it again.
Okay, so another one doesn't open. You need to open it
Yes,
again,
open it again, find a
right?
way.
We need to find out what that cafe is, and
Yeah.
if they sponsor the episode, I'll mention their name. But if they don't, I'm going to have breakfast with her there,
Deal.
next Saturday. So I'll find out.
Oh,
Perfect.
I will interview you next in that cafe.
Oh, awesome. Okay. All right. So I already have an invitation.
Okay.
What if we had to describe your life in 3 words, or the journey in 3 words? Like,
Discovery, growth, freedom.
growth is my favorite part. Freedom is what we all aspire for. That's very inspiring. What if marketing as we know it today was to disappear tomorrow? You wake up and, there is no marketing. What would you go out, fight, and bring back within marketing? Is it PR, creativity, copywriting, storytelling? I don't know. But, you're all of a sudden wearing your superhero cape and you're going out to fight and bring it back.
Insights-based business.
Okay, that is very interesting and very important. It was not easy back in the days, but it's very easy now. And all these tools out there, they give you all the right insights for you to fine tune the campaign, to forecast better, to sell better.
The essence of it. In reality, everything we do is an instrument.
True.
Insight is the essence. If you crunch the right insight, the essence of it, this is what unlocks many doors.
That is
And,
correct.
helps opening them again if it's not opened before.
That's how you open the same door again and again and again. I think until you find the right thing behind it.
Exactly.
Perfect. And throughout your career, you must have put a lot of billboards out there as well. What if you get a chance to put a billboard on Sheikh Zayed Road about yourself? So, what is it going to say?
I believe that if you want to grow any brand, globally especially, the first essence is consistency. That's why it's the same tagline as I suggested to you a few questions before.
Right.
Value, created, captured, delivered.
Nice. I think that says
Through
it all.
consistency at the heart.
They say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? So, similarly, since this is behind marketing lines, we say what happens behind marketing lines stays behind marketing lines. It's just that we are going to put it on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but still, we'll keep it to ourselves.
For many, many southern people at least.
I would like to share one incident from, your career, which may not have been funny then, but is funny now to you when you look back and you say, this is something that had happened and, it was funny.
Back at the days, I've been working with the coloration category.
Okay.
A bit of the huge crisis happened where some of people just changed the home colorants on the store massively between one another.
Okay.
Women who colored here at home back at that time, many years ago.
Right.
Those who wanted to become blondes became
Right.
brunettes, and those who
Oh my
became
good lord.
brunettes became
Redheads, maybe.
sometimes blue, sometimes because like, and the thing is that one day you come to work as a brand manager and you get hell of complaints,
Wow.
and you are responsible for a market
Of
leader,
course.
okay, and you don't know what happened. Maybe it's a
Production
production
issue.
issue, whoa, maybe it's a quality issue, whoa, and then you get these complaints from all over the country. So your first thought is like, what should you do? And you start immediately investigation. At that moment of time, we didn't have that many video cameras. So you needed to do it with the live interviews
Right.
immediately and quality control. And altogether is launched. It was not funny back at that time, but then we found out that some guys
Okay.
joked. It was just a joke. They just went in the store, but they gave us as marketers an insight that our packaging was not super well protected from these jokes, and we just needed to adapt the packaging so that it's not possible.
It's very interesting.
You
And
know,
it was a PR crisis,
it was a bit of
but
PR crisis because you won't explain your consumers that somebody just changed the colorant on one hand, but on the other hand, it also helped us understand with this investigation that in our PR campaigns and educational campaigns, we need to double down on making sure that people read instruction and read what is written on the tubes. And this is what was also part of our campaigns back at that
interesting.
time.
Interesting. It's
But
really
at that
interesting.
moment, exact, it was like, what is happening?
When the credits roll on your professional journey, what would you want those lines to read?
My professional journey?
Yes.
I will repeat this 3 times. For me, value is super important. Like my vision is in life is to aspire to inspire constant growth and discovery
Right.
through creating value. And that's why if you have these high standards for somebody, you should have them for yourself. That's why I want to be measured by the value I created for people around me, for my teams, for my family, and for society. And this is actually what we're doing today. Because by this 1 hour meeting, I hope we can create an inspiration of value for somebody who would need to pursue fantastic career in marketing and change the world.
That is correct. Marketers get to change the world. And I think the key word from this whole conversation for me was consistency, right? She's been very consistent with the answers, and I like it. And value creation, of course, is at the heart of everything we do as marketers, because we have to make sure that whatever you're buying, whatever experience you're going to have, whatever service you're going to avail, it should create some value. Well, Anna, it was a pleasure catching up with
Likewise,
you behind marketing lines. Anything you would like to add?
if somebody tells you it's not possible, find other people, and everything is possible.
It's very inspiring, and I think all the marketers, all the freshers, all the young marketers, you need to take note. Well, that was the story of Anna, and I'm going to see you in the next episode.